Okay, what I'm going to do here right now is show you how to walk through my spreadsheet on setting revenue-based goals using the DealerPulse Pro data. And what we're going to do is I'm going to use Hometown Motors just to show you how this works. And you can practice with this site or just use one of your actual dealerships. When I take you to the spreadsheet, the first thing you're going to notice is there are 4 different versions down here at the bottom. There's the yellow version, the yellow tab, which is just a sample with instructions. If you scroll down, you're going to see the instructions down at the bottom. The next version is just the red one. It's a blank general purpose one. You can use it for, let's say, Lloyd Schiller. You're having discussions about anything with service and what you expect to increase, whether you might want to increase the retention rate, average dollars per RO, average customer pay visits per year, or maybe all 3 of them. And what I'm going to walk you through right now is the preferred owner program, the green version. And then the last one is a follow-up progress version. But right now, the green one, we're going to go on Hometown Motors and just walk right through it. First thing you'll notice is the white boxes. Over here in the key, you'll see that the white boxes are things that we're going to fill out from numbers in DealerPulse Pro. The top boxes is the total number of customers. Where you find the total number of customers is, well, at least for new and used, they're right on the home page. So if we look over to the right, you'll see new is 1,257 customers and used is 1,034. This does go back, the 5 years for new and the 3 years for used. And we'll just punch these numbers in. 1,257 and 1,034. To get the service, the total count for service, what we need to do is go over to the left column and click on retention metrics. Once you're in retention metrics, you want to drop down and switch it to service only vehicles retention metric. Keep it on point total. We want to make sure we include all the brands. And this line right here, the total service only vehicles included in the metric, the top line that goes across, it says here 7,379. So we'll put 7,379. Now the next group of boxes is the retention rate. We want to get the current retention rate. You can see that service is 18.2% by staying right on that page, although we could just go right back to the home page and you'll see all 3. Service is 18.2, so we'll plug that in. 18.2%. Used is 22.4%, so we'll put in 22.4. And then new, the retention rate for new, the top line, 40.3%. So again, we'll go back to the spreadsheet, we'll put 40.3%. The last set of white boxes is average dollars per RO. So let me show where you can find average dollars per RO in DealerPulse Pro. What you want to do is you want to go over to the left-hand column and click on Service Employees. When I click on Service Employees, take a look at the gray line that goes across the middle of the page here. And when you get almost to the edge, you'll see average dollars per RO. This includes labor costs plus the parts dollars per RO cost. So average dollars per RO, let's start with new. And on Hometown Motors, it shows $36.48. You're probably not going to find your dealerships are that low. At least most of the dealerships I work with are hovering somewhere around $100, which is going to make the potential profit much higher. But we'll just take these numbers off of the Hometown Motors. So $36.48 is for new. Let's switch the box here and let's go to used. We're going to stick with that gray line. Average dollars per hour, it says $61.52. Again, what you're probably going to see with your dealerships is somewhere around $150. So $61.52 we'll put in the used. And then the last one is service only. And this is $86.06. But again, what you might find is somewhere around $175, $200. So these are going to be conservative numbers that we're ended up with on here. So we've got all the white boxes filled out. The next one you want to put on here is the tan box. If you're in the meeting with the dealership, you can ask them, do you know approximately the average customer pay visits per year your customers have? Some of the data that's out there shows about 1.8 visits per year. So I can use 1.8, I can use 2. Most of my dealerships are fine with either of those numbers. And so you plug them all in. You can walk through the dealership, what I'm doing with you right here on DealerPulse Live, DealerPulse Pro Live, or you can have all this set up beforehand and then just confirm it with them by showing them a couple things. In any case, the yellow boxes are the goals, and that's something you're going to come to an agreement with at the meeting. I like to go with conservative numbers just to show them, even if you make a minimal effort with preferred owner program, you're going to find that you can earn a nice profit. So when we look at the percent increase for retention rates, GM has that goal of 1 more in 10. I'm going to put down, and what I do with my dealerships is I'm going to say, let's say we just put a 1% increase. In other words, you're just asking for 1 more customer in 100 that you're going to retain because of preferred owner program. When you put that 1% increase in this yellow box, it bumps every single one of these up in the green box from the white box by 1%. So 40.3 becomes 41.3 and so on. Average dollars per RO. Well, as you know, dealerships are going to give a percentage back to their customers for their next visit. We recommend 5%, and a smart dealership is going to offset that by upselling, doing the multi-point vehicle inspections, and using the CSSR to tell people how many dollars they have in their account and pushing those upsells. But let's say worst case scenario, they lose all that 5%. So I'm going to put negative 5%, or just negative 5. It'll put the percent right in there. So dollars per RO is going to go from $36.48 to $34.66 for new. Used goes from $61.52 down to $58.44. Again, we're being very conservative on all this stuff. The last yellow box is the average customer pay visits per year. The pilot dealerships, the preliminary data showed an increase of 0.69 visits per year. But again, we're going to be conservative, and we're going to say 0.25 visits per year. So I'll explain this to my dealerships just like this. I'll say the pilot dealerships and preferred owner, the ones that have been in the program for many years, they're seeing 0.69 extra visits per year. We're only going to be putting 0.25 extra visits per year. So that is 1 visit every 4 years. 1 extra visit every 4 years because of preferred owner program. So you can see it goes from 1.8 to 2.05. All the calculations now are done. And we can scroll down and we can see that that's going to bring an additional revenue of $36,000 per year. You can ask the service manager what his profit margin is. A lot of my dealerships are around 55% is what they say. So that is $20,000 a year in profit. Then you have the yellow box over here, the potential annual costs. Annual costs for cards, well, if we look at, they've got about 10,000 customers in their DealerPulse Pro database. Maybe they can get a third of those customers signed up this first year, and maybe more, maybe less, but you discuss that with the dealership. A third of the customers at about $1.25 a card. Let's just throw an approximate $4,000 annually for cards. It's going to go down, I'm sure, after year, but maybe the first year is $4,000. And the marketing materials, leave it up to them, but maybe you put $400 to print some brochures. And then right now, the $550 monthly fee is covered for SFE dealers. But I'm going to put it in there because I want to show them that even if they do get charged that $550, they're still going to see a profit. So we're going to keep the $6,600 a year, and all this adds up to $11,000 per year. So you've got $20,000 coming in, $11,000 going out, and all of this stuff is very conservative. As I said, your costs for the cards are going to drop after the first year, the second year, when you get more and more people in. The marketing materials, if you get some in-house banners and stuff, that's going to drop as well. But let's take a look. What I like to do after that, and I tell the dealerships, this is with minimal effort, that you're going to get a 1% increase, that you're going to lose the complete 5% on the average dollars per hour, and they're only going to get 0.25 average customer pay visits per year increase. If we do some more aggressive percentages, let's say instead of shooting for 1%, we're going to shoot for something a little bit better. We're going to shoot for 3% increase in retention rate. Instead of losing the 5% on average dollars per RO, we're going to break even. We're going to say, okay, we're going to be giving away that 5%, but we're going to be doing our multi-point inspections better. We're going to be upselling and sharing with the customers the dollar amounts that they have on their cards and applying that towards more service work. And then instead of the 0.25 average customer increased visits per year, we're going to put it at the 0.69 that the pilot dealerships were seeing. And look what happens to these numbers. Now you've got a total revenue increase of $157,000 per year with a profit margin at 55% of a potential annual profit of almost $90,000 per year. So you can see that if a dealership gets aggressive, does a good job with preferred owner, they can easily overcome the annual costs by 8 times over. And this is just the numbers we're using from the Hometown Motors site. Again, like I mentioned, most dealerships are not going to be at $36 for average dollars per RO and $61 and $86. If we put in that $100 that you may see for new and $150 that you may see for used and $180, $190, we'll put $180 in here for service. Now take a look. $345,000 per year in revenue increase. $190,000 in profit. You might also see you've got dealerships that have a lot more than 10,000 customers in their database. So these numbers can get very large. And these annual costs, yeah, if you have more customers, you're going to have more annual cost cards and you're going to have more costs for marketing materials, but nowhere near what you'll see for the profit margin. So I hope that helps. And again, all these numbers that I found on DealerPulse Pro, you can go back and take a look at and update to revisit with the dealership down the road.